Sri Krishna Janmastmi ki jai. Today is Janmastmi Day in the United States. It's 2020. This is going to be the first Janmastmi we've celebrated, which is being celebrated mostly in our homes. So this is going to be interesting Janmastmi. I wanted to read from Bhagavatam. And excuse myself in advance, I got attacked by the allergy demon. Just give me 1 second. I can find some Chinese medicine, maybe it'll help. Don't go away. Magic pills, maybe magic pills will help. So I'm going to read from Bhagavatam, and we'll discuss. We're going to the temple to chant Brahma Samita, so we have about 45 minutes. And the first thing I wanted to do is read from the 10th canto, chapter 2, Prayers by the Demigods. Let us pray I don't run out of tissue. This is text 18, chapter 2 of the 10th canto, text 18. Tato jagan mangalam achutam sham samahitam sura sutena devi dadhara sarvatmakam atmabhutam kashta yatananda karam manashtaha. Translation. Thereafter, accompanied by his plenary expansions, the fully opulent Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is all auspicious for the entire universe, was transferred from the mind of from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki. Devaki, having thus been initiated by Vasudeva, became beautiful by carrying Lord Krishna, the original consciousness for everyone. The original consciousness for everyone, the cause of all causes, within the core of her heart, just as the east becomes beautified by the rising of the moon. Hare Krishna. I fooled some of you. I thought this week I wouldn't be doing classes. Actually, I'm going to take off next week. I need a week off. And my wife needs me a week off. Yeah. Okay. So, this verse is describing Krishna entered the mind of Vasudeva. From his mind he transferred to Devaki, and Devaki became pregnant. Immaculate conception. It's kind of like initiation, transfer. The Guru is transferring Krishna. Prabhupada explains it, that he had initiated, it was like he initiated Devaki. Is the volume somewhat low? It's normally the way it is. Maybe my voice is low. Is that better? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Better? Should I talk louder? Hare Krishna. Prabha, I was thinking about you. I haven't heard from you in months. When I don't hear from a devotee in a long time, it means one of two things. Everything is great or everything is horrible. Generally, not that it has to be one or the other, but sometimes. It means everything is fantastic, and I don't want to bother you. Everything is so bad, I don't want to bother you. Hopefully it's the first one. Purport. As indicated here by the word manashta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was transferred from the core of Vasudeva's mind or heart to the core of the heart of Devaki. So in Sanskrit, the word for mind... I am so sorry. I didn't plug it in. Now that will solve the problem, right? Everything is better now. I'm sorry I didn't plug it in. Just, So many things to plug in, you can't remember everything, right? Okay, now it's better. Yeah. You were hearing through the phone. Now you're hearing through the microphone. So, in Sanskrit, the word for mind and the word for heart, cheta, and consciousness are the same. So it may mean either one of those. And, generally you say, I had something in my mind. What's the difference between having your mind and your heart? You might say, well, in my heart it's more dear to me or something. It might be like that, but general mind, heart, Prabhupada's using them interchangeably. We should know carefully that the Lord was transferred to Devaki not by the ordinary way for a human being, but by diksha, initiation. Thus the importance of initiation is mentioned here. Unless one is initiated by the right person who always carries within his heart the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot acquire the power to carry the Supreme Godhead within the core of one's own heart. So the Guru carries Krishna and the Guru gives you Krishna. That's what initiation is. Could somebody, if anyone has Marco's Facebook, could you tell him we're giving class right now? Because every time he sends a message, his face pops up on the class. So, the Guru has Krishna, and the Guru gives Krishna. That's initiation. And so, if the Guru is a Mayavadi, that's all you get. If the Guru is a worshipper of Vishnu, that's all you get. If a Guru is the Braj Bhakta, then you get Shyam Sundar. And so we are fortunately the recipients of Prabhupada's giving us the Krishna of Braj, as the previous acharyas have. The word achyutamsham is used because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sad Aishvarya Purna, full in opulences of wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. The Supreme Godhead is never separated from his personal opulences. As stated in the Brahma Samita, Ramadishu, Ramadi Murtishu Kalani Amena Tishnan. The Lord is always situated with all his plenary expansions, such as Rama, Nrsimha, Varaha. Therefore, the word achyutamsam is specifically used here, signifying that the Lord is always present with his plenary expansions. Just like, for example, you know the story of Putana. So it's an interesting story. Krishna killed her, and then he gave her the position of mother, liberated. It seems like a contradiction. So why would one person kill someone if he's treating them like mother? And why would somebody kill somebody and then give them the position of a mother? Well, it's explained because when Krishna comes, all the incarnations are within him. He killed her as Vasudeva, but he loved her as Krishna. I'll say that again in case you fainted. I'll give you time to wake up. Okay, you woken up? All right. He killed her as Vasudeva, so Vasudeva is within Krishna. So when it's time to kill someone, the Vasudeva form of Krishna does that work. When it's time to love someone, the Krishna, the original, Shyama Sundar, does that work. Isn't that interesting? So as Vasudeva, he kills Putana. As Krishna, he loves Putana. So that's one example of how all the incarnations are within Krishna. And anytime you see Krishna killing a demon, he's killing, it's his Vasudeva feature that's killing. And anytime you see Krishna loving, it's his original feature, because Krishna, that's all he does. So Krishna's in Vrindavan, he's killing a demon. Yeah, well, he manifests the form of Vasudeva to kill. And then the business is finished, and then he's back with his friends as Krishna, loving them. Interesting, right? Hare Krishna. Tanavashtita tadgatena manasa pashanti yam yogina. Bhagavatam 12:13-1. Yogis meditate upon the Supreme Person within the mind. For a devotee, however, the Lord is present. Oh, I have to show you something. Celebration. It's not working yet. It's not electrically, it's not put up yet. But look at this. Dun, dun, dun. Yesterday, they came. It's a devotee company. So they have to set up the electrical. But we're almost there. And this month, August, is by far the most brutal month in Alachua, for sure. And then we get winter, and it actually frosts. I think, how can it frost in Florida? Well, Alachua is in the northern part, and it's close to Georgia. So we say, it's like Alachua is really like southern Georgia, and so we get to experience all kinds of interesting things here, and we have more varieties of spiders, I think, than any other place in the universe. So if you like spiders, come to Alachua. You can see all kinds. Yogis meditate upon the Supreme Person within the mind. For a devotee, however, the Lord is present, and his presence need only be awakened through initiation by a bona fide spiritual master. The Lord did not need to live within the womb of Devaki, for his presence within the core of her heart was sufficient to carry him. One is here forbidden to think that Krishna was begotten by Vasudeva within the womb of Devaki, and that she carried the child within her womb. So in other words, she's thinking of Krishna. Krishna's absolute. Krishna's within her. It doesn't have to be within the womb. Krishna's in her heart, and he can come out of her heart. Yes. Janma karma chame divyam. Evam yo veti tattataha. You know, Krishna says, you have to know my birth. How was Krishna born? Well, he just came out of he went from the heart and mind of Vasudeva, who initiates his wife, puts Krishna in her heart and mind, and then she comes out. He comes out of her. Interesting, right? Spider Loka, yeah. We're broadcasting today from Spider Loka. When Vasudeva was sustaining the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, he appeared just like the glowing sun, whose shining rays are always unbearable and scorching, according to the common man. Okay, I want to show you something, because it's an example, but I have to go in my studio. So hold it there for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that was 7 seconds. I was wrong. This. See this? You use this in photography, and what you do is you take a light and you put the light here, and then the light shines. I was actually using this last week. I think right now I'm blocking the light from over here, but light's coming in. Let's see if we can do this. Light's coming in over here, and then you take light and then you shine it, and you can't really. It's not really working because I have to. Let's see if we can do this. Anyway, you understand the principle. You get light and then you shine it back, right? So we as devotees, I'll put it here so you can remember, we get the light from Srila Prabhupada, the light of Krishna, and that light, and then people say, oh, you're so bright, you're so Krishna conscious, we're just reflecting the light back. It's not our light. You'd be amazed. I did a video the other day, had one little light and one other light on here, and my whole body was reflecting this light. It was so bright. I never used it before. I tried to use it, I didn't know how, and then I used it the other day. So we are like this reflector. We're meant to be like this reflector. We reflect the light. Now what's interesting, this side is gold. So it reflects gold. So it makes me gold. I can't show you exactly. But so you could reflect the light and pervert it and not represent Krishna properly. Excuse me. Okay. When Vasudeva was sustaining the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, he appeared just like the glowing sun, whose shining rays are always unbearable and scorching to the common man. The form of the Lord, situated in the pure unalloyed heart of Vasudeva, is not different from the original form of Krishna. The appearance of the form of Krishna anywhere, and specifically within the heart, is called Dhamma. Dhamma refers not only to Krishna's form, but to his name, his form, his quality, and his paraphernalia. Everything becomes manifest simultaneously. Thus, the eternal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full potencies was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki, exactly as the setting sun's rays are transferred to the full moon rising in the east. So the moon is just a reflection. The moon is just reflecting the sun. Interesting. The moon is so bright and it's reflecting the sun. So, this is a nice explanation of initiation. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, entered the body of Devaki from the body of Vasudeva. He was beyond the conditions of the ordinary living entity. When Krishna is there, it is to be understood that all his plenary expansions, such as Narayana and the incarnations like Nrsimha, Varaha, are with him. And they are not subject to the conditions of material existence. In this way, Devaki becomes the residence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second and the cause of all creation. So, of course, we want Krishna to reside in our hearts also, to become the residence of our hearts, within our hearts. And our hearts have to be pure, otherwise he's not going to go into a dirty place. So you want Krishna to reside in your heart, you have to clean it. When the fire is covered by the walls of a pot or is kept in a jug, the illuminating rays of the fire cannot be very much appreciated. Similarly, misused knowledge which does not benefit the people in general is not very much appreciated. So Devaki was kept within the prison walls of Kamsa's palace, and no one could see her transcendental beauty, which resulted from her conceiving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you could imagine how beautiful she had become by carrying Krishna within her. Commenting upon this verse, Sri Vira Raghava Acharya writes, Vasudeva Devaki Jatarayor Ridarayor Bhagavata Sambandha. Excuse me. We were doing good for the last few weeks, and then the allergy demon appeared in Alachua. Commenting upon this verse, excuse me. The Supreme Lord's entrance into the womb of Devaki from the heart of Vasudeva was a heart-to-heart relationship. Wow. This is so beautiful, isn't it? The spiritual master, he carries Krishna and he puts Krishna in your heart. And that's what Prabhupada did. He put Krishna in everyone's heart, and no one had Krishna before. And all of a sudden we had Krishna. It's amazing, right? So, today, Janmastmi, some of you are in your evening already. Some of you are in your afternoon. Some of you are in your morning. And if you're in Los Angeles, you may still be sleeping. And if you're in Hawaii, you're definitely sleeping. And if you're in Australia, you are okay. You may if you're in Australia, you should be awake now, if today's Janmastmi. So, what happens on Janmastmi? How do we think? How do we pray? What's the mood? What are we supposed to do? Well, especially, I was thinking the other day. Yesterday, I was calling a company that I need to buy something, because we realized we're doing this music project, and we realized the computer I have is too slow. The computer says, "You're feeding me too much. I have indigestion." And something comes on the screen and says, "Overload." So I was calling this company, and they're all Hasidic Jews that run the company. And this guy was from Israel. I could tell by his accent. And I was thinking while I was talking to him, tomorrow's Janmastmi, and on Janmastmi, we should be like the Jewish people. They have a Sabbath, and on the Sabbath, I don't know if they still do this, because I was raised Jewish, and this is what I was told. I was not Orthodox, so we didn't do this. But on the Sabbath, which is Saturday, it's like a Ekadasi for them. And they put their phone in the closet. They don't answer their phone. This is during the days of phones, not smartphones. It's just old, regular dial-up phones. They put the phones in the closet. That day was just for God. So at least today for Krishna, like nothing else, just absorbed. Now, as we've been discussing a lot in the classes recently, because we're talking about going back to Godhead, we've been discussing how Prabhupada's mission was to get everybody, every willing soul, every capable and willing soul, or every soul is willing to become capable to go back to Godhead. And how does he do that? Well, one of the ways he does that is by introducing you to the person you're going to meet when you go back to Godhead. So when you meet him and understand him, then you think, yeah, I'd like to go there because he's amazing. I was reading something today. Hold on, I want to read this. It's beautiful. Jiva Goswami says Krishna means irresistible. You know what the word irresistible means? Yeah, he's so attractive. It's just like, there's no way that you can't be attracted. Of course, you're saying, I'm not attracted, yeah. But when you're actually purified, and then you're with Krishna, it's like, it's just all your senses are completely attracted, in love with him, intensely, 1,000,000 times more than you could ever imagine. So Prabhupada's coming to get us out of the material world. How's he going to get us out of the material world? Well, he has to introduce us not only to the nature of the spiritual world. That sounds good. You don't have to work and you live forever and everything's free. And, that sounds good, right? But still, it's not enough, because the heart hankers after love. So he has to introduce us to the person who's like, he's the lover boy of that world. He's the one you're looking for. And when you are introduced to him, then this irresistible nature starts attracting you. And the more you become attracted, the more you want to be with him, the more you want to serve him, the more you want to tell people about him, and the more you want to eternally be engaged in a service and be in Leela with him. At least, if not physically in Leela, then internally. So when Krishna comes to this world and he does his Leelas, you could say he's doing his Leelas because he's the enjoyer and he's always enjoying, and it's all about love. And in terms of rasa, in relationships that Krishna has with his devotees, that's true. But if you look at it from another way, which we call tutwar, the truth, he's doing that for us as much or more than he's doing it for himself, because he doesn't have to come here to do it, although he does different things when he comes here. So you could say, well, he likes to come here, but this world only exists because of us, so he's only coming to get us out of here. And if we weren't here, we wouldn't come here just to have fun. But he's coming here to have fun so we can see the fun that he's having, and then we can look at our life and say, my life's not fun. Compared to him, my life's not fun at all. In fact, my life's pretty bad when I compare it to Krishna and the gopis and his mother and his friends and so forth. So that's what Krishna's doing. He's coming here and he's saying, hey, check me out. This is what goes on up there. I'm just showing you down here what goes on up there, because what we're doing here is not what you're doing here. We're playing a different game here, and we've created the spiritual world here. But what you're doing in your life, it's not working. It's just not going to work for you. Just quit doing it. It's useless. Don't try to do what I'm doing, because you don't know how to do what I do. And the more you try to do what I do, the more you mess up and the more you suffer. So the idea is, when you watch what Krishna's doing and you become blissful and happy and ecstatic, hearing about him, seeing pictures of him, seeing the deity and so forth, then you think, oh, okay, yeah, this is what I've been trying to imitate, but it didn't work. I actually can't do it. And when I try to do it, it just creates a total mess. He can actually do it. He can pull it off. And when he does it, it works. And everybody's happy. And Krishna's saying, okay, I can do this. I actually know how to enjoy. You don't know how to do it because you're just an imitation God. But when you try to enjoy, a lot of people suffer, and not a lot of people necessarily enjoy. Maybe your family, maybe not even your family. But what I enjoy, everybody enjoys. So it's win-win. In the material world, it's not win-win. It's usually win-lose. You go win the lottery, you have millions of dollars, you buy a new house, and you're enjoying it. I'm looking at all that and thinking, I hate you. You have all this money, you have everything nice, and I don't. So your enjoyment, even if you are my brother or sister, sometimes if you are very successful, I may not be happy about it because I don't get it. When Krishna enjoys, everybody enjoys. That's a huge difference. So now Krishna is coming here and saying, okay, check it out. Check your life out, just write it out on paper, like what do you do every day? Well, I get up and I have a cup of coffee and I drive through traffic and I sit in front of a computer and then I come home and then I go shopping and then I cook and then I clean the pots and then I do my email and I'm so exhausted I go to sleep. Yeah, okay. And Krishna's saying, and then I do that 5 days a week, and on the weekends I finally get to do something I like, but it takes like a half a day to recuperate. Then I have to also wash my car, do my laundry, wash the house, straighten this, organize this, run these errands, yeah. And Krishna says, okay, compare that to what I do. Look what I do. So he comes here to show us what he does. So we can say, I think I should join his party and do that. I think that's better than what I'm doing. It's what I'm doing is it's not really working, And especially, when there's a loss of a loved one or a divorce, you really know it's not working. This imitating God thing is it's not working for me. I thought it was going to work. We fell in love, we got the house. It seemed like the imitating God thing was working. What's all this Krishna conscious stuff and Maya? Everything's fine. And then she left me for another man, my best friend, and I see her driving off into the sunset. This being God thing, man, it's not working. And then you hear about Krishna enjoying with the gopis, and you're becoming more and more happy, more and more blissful, more and more ecstatic, more and more purified. And then you start thinking, I think I got something wrong here. I think I'm starting to understand what Prabhupada is telling me, that I'm not meant to imitate Krishna. Krishna knows already how to play God because he is God. We don't know. We'll never know. And it doesn't work. So that's one thing Krishna is doing. And so he's doing that. And then simultaneously, in the Bhagavad Gita, he's telling us what he's doing. And he's saying, look at, we use common if Krishna were just like a teenage boy or a young college student, he'd go, dude, check it out. Like, look what you're doing. You're just like, you're crazy. You're going nowhere fast. And I've like got everything for you, and all you have to do is just like, instead of surrendering to vodka, surrender to me. What's your problem? It's not a big deal. Instead of surrendering to, your computer 18 hours a day, just surrender to me. So that's what's going on. That's what Krishna is trying to tell us. And so he's showing it, and he's telling us. And he's advertising. You could look at Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita as just an advertisement for the spiritual world. This is what it's like. This is what goes on. This is what the people are like. Would you like to go to a place where everyone loves God? Sounds good. Must be better than this place, yeah. So that's what Krishna's doing. Then the other thing he's doing, which is so important for us, when he enacts his Leela, then we get to see what it means to love Krishna. And this is very, very important. A lot of people talk about love, and it's better to talk about love than hate, no question. And a lot of religious people talk about love. But it can be ambiguous unless you actually see it embodied in a person who actually loves Krishna. Because otherwise, a lot of times we think we love, like I tell that little story where this young woman became a devotee, and her boyfriend was, he didn't want to be a devotee, but he wanted to get married. And I said, well, just tell him we can get married, but no sex. Because he's in love with her. And then she says no sex, and somehow or other he's not in love with her anymore. Like, what happened to that? Love. So, we have very strange ideas about what love is, and it's especially with the opposite sex, it's very much centered around certain attractiveness, and the more there is this a physical attractiveness or attractiveness of character, the more there's love, and if that changes, sometimes the love changes. So Krishna, he comes and he says, okay. Krishna, if he's from New York, he's saying, okay, here's the deal. You gotta love me, okay? Because if you don't love me, your life is just a mess. So he's laying out the deal, okay? So, okay, you gotta love me. I'm gonna show you how to love me. I'm gonna bring my pure devotees, and they're gonna love me, and you're gonna see how to love me, so you won't speculate, love is this, love is that. And if you've it would be funny to do a drama, right? Contemporary Krishna. Sometimes it helps, like put it in perspective. Like, this is the contemporary view. I guess some people would think it's offensive, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes it might help. So Krishna is saying, okay, now I'm going to come, and I'm not going to just find people here. What's the word I'm looking for? When you hire, not hire, something like hire. All right, we'll use the word hire. I can't think of it. I'm not going to come here and like hire people for my Leela, pay them $10 an hour. Hey, can you be in my Leela? Pretend you love me. I'm actually going to bring the people here that love me. I'm going to bring Radha. I'm going to bring the gopis. I'm going to bring my parents. I'm going to bring my friends. I'm going to order them to come. They're going to come demigods, and then from demigods they're going to come down here, and we're going to do down here what we do up there, and then you get to see what love is. Otherwise, it can be extremely ambiguous. Yes, we love God, praise the Lord, and then we go to McDonald's, after church. So we need to understand. Or we go to church, I love God, and then we go home and yell at our husband or yell at our wives, So, the story, it's such a good story of Uddhava going to Vrindavan to take a message for Krishna. And why he chose Uddhava is because he wanted Uddhava to see the love that the residents of Braj had for Krishna. I think this might help the allergy. It's for the throat, but it's all connected. And so, recruit, that's the word I was looking. She's my editor. She got, yeah. Krishna's like, oh, I'll come to the material world alone and I'll recruit. We'll just, we'll put an ad in the Sunday Times, who wants to be in my Leela. I'll recruit people. He can't do that. He's got to bring his own people, because his own people show you what pure love is. And then the people that are coming into Krishna Leela from this world, they're learning what is love. So I want to bring the people that are eternally liberated, Shakti Tattva, my eternal associates, and they're going to show you what love is. If you want to know what love is, just read Shastakam, the last few verses, from verse 4 onwards, and especially the last 2. You will understand what love is. Radharani. You want to understand what love is, just look at Radharani, look at the gopis. Mother Yasoda, cowherd boys. So Uddhava goes to Vrindavan, he meets the residents of Vrindavan, and he, to put it in modern terms, is blown away. What was he blown away by? He was blown away by the intense feelings of love. He never saw a devotee with that kind of love. In Mathura, the love is not that intense. It's intense, but not that intense. He never saw it. Krishna Karshani says, it seems we know nothing about real pure love. You are 100% correct. And when Prabhupada said there's no love in the material world, that's what he meant. He said, you've never seen it. But once you see it, then you can say, okay, I didn't know what love is, because now I see what it is. And now I can see that I didn't know what it is. But now we know what it is, because Krishna brings his devotees and says, okay, here's the Leelas. And then you study these Leelas, and then you understand what love is, and then eventually, as you progress in Bhakti, you follow in the footsteps of those devotees. That's how you develop your mood of love. You can define what love is through their actions, and you can understand the mood through their actions, and you may want to develop that mood of a particular devotee. You remember Sham Radha by his side among the fields of Braja. Yeah, you like that song. I was just thinking about doing it this past weekend, but recording it, but we had to do other things. Excuse me. We can do a Krishna Karshani, we can do a funny video and we say, Krishna West or Krishna East, the benefits of a devotee, and then the devotee's like wiping his face, blowing his nose, wiping off his sweat. The devotees are much better. This Krishna West, they don't understand. Devotees are the thing. You know the thing about Doti, not Doti. Where's my Doti, Prabhu? Hare Krishna Prabhu, where's my Doti? It's Doti. It's Hare Krishna Prabhu. Where is my Doti? If you can all pronounce Sanskrit properly, people will be impressed. Wow, you must be a good devotee. So you want to impress people. You want to fake it so people think you're a good devotee. Then say Doti Kota. You won't fake them if you're Indian, but if you're Westerner and you say Doti Kota mantra. I'm chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Whoa, Sanskrit scholar. You'll impress them. Radha. Radha Rani. Brahmachari. Brahmacharini. Govinda Nandini. Whoa, you know Sanskrit. The other people will think, look at that show off. They think they know Sanskrit. They're just trying to show off. They'll catch you, right? And you'll be like, turn red. You go, oh, you caught me. I was trying to show off. So, I want to read a few things I came across this morning that I thought. Today we're celebrating Janmastmi. So a little nice phrase is, today we're celebrating the birth of the unborn. That's part of Kunti's prayer. Although you're unborn, you take birth. This is bewildering. Yeah, okay. What's today? Today is the birthday of the unborn. Let me think about that for like eternity. See if I can figure that one out. Of course, we understand what it means, but for an average person, the birth of the unborn, how does that work? Okay, Krishna appeared. We call it Appearance Day. We don't actually call it birthday because he appeared in the mind and heart of Devaki. Now I have to tell you something you may not know. If you read the Krishna book, it's very clear that Krishna was the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. But if you read Bhagavatam and you read commentaries, it's very clear that Krishna was both taking birth from the womb of Jasoda and the womb of Devaki. And how is that possible? Well, it said, I read, when Krishna dropped off, Vasudeva dropped off Krishna in Vrindavan, and he picked up Subhadra, brought her back. Jasoda, you didn't really realize she had twins. She was kind of unconscious, and she wakes up and there's Krishna, and Subhadra's gone, and like, she doesn't say like, what the? I gave birth to a boy and a girl. But we all think, no, she didn't give birth to a boy and a girl. She just gave birth to a girl. But the fact is, Jasoda gave birth to Krishna and Subhadra. And so when, because they say, no, but I thought Devaki gave birth to Krishna. It's like right there in black and white. She did, but she gave birth to Vasudeva Krishna. And Jasoda gave birth to Braj Krishna. So Krishna was taking birth simultaneously in both places. See, but I thought Vasudeva brought Krishna to Vrindavan. He did, and that Vasudeva form, that Narayan form of Krishna, merged in the original form of Krishna. That's what happened. It wasn't like he wasn't there. It just merged. Well, some devotees don't know this. Now you know it. And you're like, if you hadn't heard this before, this is the tutwar. Krishna appears in Vrindavan and he appears in Mathura. Now, another thing. What's the difference between Mathura and Vrindavan? Well, in Mathura they understand Krishna as God, at least to some degree. Not entirely. And then in Dwarka, they understand Krishna's God. They see him that way. In Braj, they don't know. Vrindavan, they don't know. So, actually, I have to end class now. Unfortunately, maybe we can continue tomorrow. Tomorrow's Prabhupada's appearance day. Anyway, so, as you know, when Krishna was born of Vasudeva and Devaki, he was like full-on Narayan, fully grown, forearms, the whole deal. And they said, but, kind of want to keep this, like, private, This is kind of, like, too much. Can you just like, tone it down a bit? And just, like, so he takes the form of a baby. And so, it's like their position is like, they had so much affection for Krishna, they could worship him as a little baby, but they know he's God. It's like both were going on, and they would forget that he's God, but they remember. So it wasn't complete forgetfulness. We can't say more now because it's time to go. My wife's waiting for me, and we're doing at the temple. We're singing Brahma Samita. So if you go on the Alachua website at 45 minutes from now, 9:30 our time, it should be broadcast. Along with that, they should broadcast the Abhishek, and I'll be singing that, right? There's one other thing I wanted to read. Love is a weakness that gives strength. Krishna is weakened by love and thus more accessible. You get closer. Love is a weakness. It makes you, when you're in love, you become weak. Krishna becomes weak by your love. He submits to your love. And your love becomes your strength by which Krishna submits to your love. Today, a beautiful meditation is, can I get Krishna to submit to my love? Of course, first I have to have love. But can I work on having love? And in Krishna, love is, what do you say? Love is a weakness that gives strength. A weakness for Krishna. You can conquer God. You can dominate God. You can control God. How do you do it? By love. That's the only way. You can't do it, I'm in God, there's no God, atheist, this and that. That's stupid. It doesn't work. By love, you can become more than God. You can completely control God. He will worship you. So Krishna worships Radharani so many ways. He will worship you. Not that that's our goal, but that's the point. All right, we can talk more next time. One time I was late. I came late, and I came right in time, actually, but they were worried. Actually, I did come late once. So it's better I get there early so they know I'm there. So we're going to end class. Thanks for attending. Happy Janmastmi to all of you. We'll talk more tomorrow, and we'll do classes every morning. And tomorrow I have like something like, I have a lot. It should be like 5 things or something. So tomorrow's the day. Exciting day. Hare Krishna to all of you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.